Hey, Christian. Hi, Terry. I'm running late. I had to redo my. Yes, we are live. Let me turn this down. I just want to get on here real quick and get my little live in before it get real active over here in these streets. Hi, Secrets. Miss White. Hey, Miss White. Blessings to you, Miss White. I send my prayers to you. I just want to hop on here real quick to get my live in so I can scoot out everybody way. But I came on here because I want to talk about forgiveness, forgiveness or unforgiveness. I actually want to make sure. Just let me know. I send my prayers, Miss White, to you. From a mother to another mother. I heard your story about your, I don't know which child. I don't know if it was a son or a daughter, but as a mother that lost a child, it'll be 19 years for me for my son. So, but losing a child is definitely not easy. Definitely not easy losing a kid, but God will see you through. But I had wanted to real quick. I just wanted to talk about I just want to get on here real quick. No. No. Just skip it. No. Go. I just wanted to get on here real quick and just kind of talk about forgiveness and unforgiveness because I see a lot of people kind of like I could see just running through, just looking at different things, how a lot of people kind of like had an issue with a lot of content creators from last night. Everybody, really being forgiving one another. But what people fail to understand, sometimes forgiving is not always easy. Forgiveness is not always easy. And hold on, y'all. Don't come back in here. Don't come back in here. Don't come back in here. Like even with forgiving, you have to be in a good headspace. And I can talk for myself. And when it comes to forgiving, and you have to have your mindset have to be there, and your heart have to be there. Who Terry? Terry, who is this person right here? Talk to your kids. Nobody cares what you say except them. Terry, block that person right there because I don't even know who it is. We ain't got time for all that right there because I don't know what they got going on. Talk to your kids. Anyways, but like I said, like, no, I have my moderator on here. But like I said, like forgiveness, like even with me, when it came to like when the situation happened with my son, I'm only speaking for myself. I instantly took to a place of like forgiving, and I took to a place because what people fail to understand, forgiveness is not for the person that you're asking for the forgiveness for. The forgiveness is for you yourself. So that way it allows you to be in a headspace. And you have to always, even with forgiveness, whether if you forgive or you don't forgive, it's like even with forgiveness, it's just not a one-time thing, depending on what the situation is. You just can't say, oh Lord, you know how people be like, oh God will forgive me. Some people just say, God forgive me, and they'll go back and redo the same thing. But when people reaching out and genuinely asking people like for forgiveness, forgiveness is pretty much, I'm turning away from what I did and the things I said, but you just don't go back and continue to be, you get what I'm saying? You don't continue to keep doing that. And you not forgiving the person, You only hurting yourself. You only keeping yourself in a dark place, or keeping yourself in a dark space. Like even with me, with the people that's involved with my son, it wasn't just my son, it was my little cousin. Instantly I had to be in a place of, had a heart of gratitude, of forgiveness. And it was like, do you forgive the people that did that to your kid? Do you forgive them, or do you don't forgive them? And then I was like, you know what, I have to forgive. But the forgiveness was for me. It was for me to forgive, because I didn't want to stay in a dark place. I didn't want to beat up for so long. And I know if I didn't instantly forgive in my heart, I didn't know what it was gonna do. And I was like, I didn't understand it, but I trusted God through my process. So even in that, you got to trust God. And people think because somebody's on here saying, oh, I don't see how they over there forgiving somebody, I ain't finna forgive nobody. That just go to show where they at, because a lot of people, they're not afraid to say, if I forgive this person, what they gonna think about me, how they gonna feel about me. And that's what's wrong with people now. They always worrying about what somebody gonna think or what somebody gonna feel. It doesn't matter. You clearing, your slate is clean. Even God, Jesus was the first partaker of sin. He said, Lord, forgive them, cause they care not what they do. So do people think that we're excluded? We're not excluded when it comes to forgiving people. You got to have a forgiving heart. But you got to have a forgiving heart to be able to move on, to freely live your life, where you don't have to feel like I'm stuck in a dark place. And if you want peace, no matter what, if God put it on your heart to go get something right, guess what? You ain't doing it for the person. It ain't like I'm doing it because I'm trying to be your best friend. I'm not asking for forgiveness because I'm trying to be on the phone with you. I understand that boundaries was disrespected. You know, boundaries was whatever. You know, like that, just like the people that's involved with my son. I'm not, when I say, Lord, I forgive, people be like, I forgave them. Guess what? I don't know what them people doing on their knees. I don't know if they on their knees. I don't know if they crying out to God. Because at the end of the day, the people that's involved with taking my son's life and my little cousin, guess what? They got to see God for that. They got to see God for that. But I don't want to. Hey, Alexis. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Cara. David. Who is over here? I don't want to read these things. I don't know who this person talked to, but y'all make sure y'all just pay attention to Alexis. I'm finna put you as a moderator too. Cause and just because you feel like, oh, the forgiveness is for, it's not for them. And don't worry about what people say, because your heart got to be pure. Your heart got to be right so you could go on. It's people right now that's involved with unaliving my kid. They unalive my kid and they haven't did not one day. They haven't did not one day. I haven't had a court date. I haven't had anything. But it's been going on 19 years. But I had to tell myself, Gigi, you got to always stay in a place of having your heart. Do I get upset? Yes, I do at times. I get upset. Do I get angry? Yes, because I have that right to feel that way, because that was my child. And just to know that somebody is still walking around, still living their life, doing whatever they want to do, but yet they still haven't served no time. But at the end of the day, I have to keep my heart right, that I don't allow, just because they haven't been convicted of taking my son's life, just because they still around here walking on earth, I have to still do a heart check. I still have to live my life. I still can't be around here being bitter and angry. And every now and then, not all the time, I don't experience that. But it been times where something could have done said, or something could have set me off, and I can feel that thing fester on the inside. And when I feel that old stuff festering on the inside of my heart, I said, Lord, it's there. I said, God, I need you to take that out my heart. Create in me a clean heart. Renew a right spirit in me. So when people be mad, like people like, that's weird, because somebody see how you can't see, regardless of what you see a panel. People they'll spectate. They see a panel. They see women transparent. You see chains being broken. You see people's hearts where they've been holding on and festering hatred and from a misunderstanding. And now I have a opportunity. See, when you do things, we do things in secret. See, you can do whatever you want to do in secret, but it's when you openly expose the enemy. See, the enemy didn't like what happened last night. Last night, what happened on Queen Fee Page, the enemy did not like that. That interrupted his plan. See, the enemy plan got interrupted. And if people not walking in the spirit and not really like people like, oh, everybody want to holler about that. No, you got to be really walking in the spirit to really know what really went on last night. It doesn't matter about what somebody think and how they think about it. If your heart is pure and knowing that God was there and God came down and vindicated people that did things and they did things wrong. They said things they were wrong. They dragged people family. They talked about people deceased family members and did all type of things. Was it right? No, it wasn't right. So when you come forward and you bring your gift to the altar and say, I did X, Y, Z, that was not right what I did. How can somebody mediate and come with some common sense when people have common sense and have some common ground to say, you know what we did, what I did to you was not right. It take a person to put their pride to the side and say, I'm not going to allow pride to get in here. I'm going to come to you. I know we've been down this road before. I know we said this, but this time I really mean it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's some people that really was hurt because of things past hurt and what was it. Nobody's here to play the blame game. Everybody want to play the blame game. And you see people, that won't be me. You know why it's not them? Because they're afraid to expose what's really going on within themselves. And a lot of people don't want to forgive. Some people say, y'all ever hear this saying, oh, before I forgive them, I'll take it to my grave. You ever hear people say that they'll take something to their grave? People really feel like when people really say, I'm not going to forgive them. But they be so miserable because they choose not to free themselves. Don't want to free themselves. So forgiving somebody and the Bible said if you be offended, if somebody offend you 70 times 7, if somebody offend you 490 times in a day, guess what? You got to find it in yourself to say, you know what? Lord, forgive them because they care not what they do. So even in the 400, you may not really admit it the first time. You may not genuinely admit it the second time, but God give you so many opportunities to really soul search yourself to get that thing right. So it really doesn't matter what nobody say. And when people get to the place and when they understand that the forgiveness is not for the person that did you wrong, it's really for you as a person. It's for the both of whoever the parties are. You got to come. It doesn't matter who take the first step. It doesn't matter. And a lot of times we could go to a person and say, will you forgive me? Or asking a person to forgive you. Some people say, I'm not there yet. But it doesn't matter whether they dare or not, whether they accept your apology or not. The word of God say, kick the dust off your feet. You go in peace. The Bible tells you go in peace. And when you go in peace, you kick the dust off your feet and you leave it as a testimony and you take peace with you. And that's the word. Hey, Tangela, you take the word with you. So it doesn't matter whether if a person want to accept the forgiveness from you. Guess what? Your slate is clean. Your slate is clean. You make sure your hands clean. You make sure your slate is clean. And that's not on you. Because the longer you hold hatred in your heart and unforgiveness in your heart, you in a dark place. And you got to ask yourself, how long do I want to be in a dark place? How long do I want to be here? And I know when that happened with my son, I said, Lord, forgive them because I know not what they do. Even though I didn't understand, no, I did not understand because I'm a mother who experiencing a loss of a child. There's nobody give you a manual to say, oh, you do X, Y, Z when you lose your kid. I was a new mom. I was a young mother that got a call and said that my innocent child just life got taken at the hands of somebody else. He was celebrating his 18th birthday. What do you do as a young mother? You never experienced nothing like this. Nobody never told you. What do you do? All I knew was my faith. My faith what kept me. My faith what helped me walk this walk. And all I could hear God say, John 3. It was so crazy because Queen Fee said John 3:16 was her scripture. And that's the scripture that I took and I put that on my son obituary. It was John 3:16 say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever, you get what I'm saying, whosoever believe in him. So it's a choice to believe. He ain't forcing nothing. Whosoever believe in him. So I took that. And then further into that that parable, he say, Lord, not my will, but I gave. He gave. And I'm like, oh my God. And when the Lord was ministering to me, he was like, I gave. And then I heard the Spirit say, why not your son? I gave my son. I thought that was the craziest thing, that when I heard the Lord telling me, why not your son? And he was like, allow me to use your life. I'm going to use your life. Yes, it was your son. I gave my son. I know how you feel. But if you just allow me to just come in and reside in here, and allow me to walk you through this, and allow me to show you how you can walk this life. And it's not going to feel good. But I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to walk you through. You may not understand this, but I'm going to walk you through. You may not can't see your way, but I'm going to see you through. And I trusted God and I believe God, because I'm like, who's going to help me walk this walk? Who's going to get me through this? I'm a young mama, just lost my only son. My only son the day after his 18th birthday. And I'm like, and then in that moment, I was angry. I was angry. Because I'm like, Lord, why would you allow something like this to happen to my child? Why would you allow this to happen to my kid? Why my son? And that's when the Lord said, why not your son? I gave my son for the world. And instantly, I said, you know what? You right, Lord. I said, Lord, nevertheless, not my will, but thine will be done for my life. I said, but Lord, if you hold my hand, if you guide my feet, if you give me the peace that passes all understanding, that this peace that you're talking about, if you give me this, I will allow you to use my life so people can see, well, how you do this? How you do that? You don't look like what you've been through, because it was a choice. I had to instantly learn how to forgive, and I had to understand that the forgiveness was not for the person that committed the crime. The forgiveness was for me, for God to get me through, to walk me through, to show me, daughter, I got you. Even in your tough times and your heartaches, but you're going to have more good times. I know you loved him. I know you love your son, and I loved it mine too. But my son came and took on the burdens of the world, the sins of the world. So I knew in that moment that I had to forgive, because here it is. Yet these people was murderers, and they did these actors. They acted out because they allowed the enemy of the world, the devil, to use their life. So I knew I couldn't blame God for it, because I knew it was an enemy bigger. It was bigger than this. It was an enemy at hand. So it's either, Gigi, how you going to get through this walk? And every day was a day. Every day I had to say until I felt that thing, until it got in my deep down in my heart. So my walk, my faith walk, was a life of just being in a place of forgiving, even when I didn't want to forgive, even when I was angry. But I knew, okay, Gigi, you upset, you angry, but you can't stay there that long. You got to forgive, and it's for you. You got your kids watching you, your children watching you. And that's what helped me. And to see people have a problem, and they're mad at other people because they coming forth and saying that they forgave people and they openly forgiving people. We all don't did something, but we all got to give accountability for our deeds and for our wrong deeds. You got to let that stuff go. You cannot harbor that. Some people, you can forgive people, but you deal with them people from a distance. You could get some people, some of the things what we see openly, people openly do. Some people not ready for that. Some people don't want to change, but you can still go to God and say, Lord, this person did X, Y, Z. Lord, forgive them. And Lord, I forgive them. Because everybody, you can't just go to them because they're not in that place yet. But don't let nobody Don't let nobody make you feel bad because you took a step in the right place, because you say, I want to do the right thing. I'm tired of being in darkness. I don't want to be in darkness. I don't want this dark cloud covering me. So it's a choice. Do I forgive or do I don't forgive? You're going to want God to forgive you in something, even though the person did you wrong and they said things. You got women that came on a panel and was broken. You had broken people with broken pieces. But God can take that and he can use your vulnerability and he can use that and he can put you back together again. But you got to be willing to allow him to put you together again. Don't worry about what the naysayer said or what this person's saying or what that person's saying. You do the right thing. But not saying it's going to happen overnight, because it's a process. It's a process. But you work on it. We all are work in progress. Some of us get it, some of us don't. But you continue. It may be hard for you to do it. Lord, this person did this to me, but Lord, it's so hard for me to forgive them. Lord, can you give me the strength to find it in my heart? Can you remove this hard brick, or can you move this darkness from my heart, that I can be able to freely to know that I'm asking for forgiveness and knowing that forgiveness is for me. It's not the person. Stop looking at the person that did you wrong. Stop looking at the person that committed the act. That forgiveness is for you. It's going to help you. Trust and believe. Y'all, some people probably say, well, what is this girl talking about? What is she talking about? I know what I'm talking about. I'm a living testimony. It's going to be 19 years. 19 years for my son. Not one conviction. Not one court date. Y'all looking at a testimony. I don't look like what I've been through. It's my faith and trusting God through it and making sure that my heart is right. And being in a place of, Lord, it's here again. I feel it. I feel it again, Lord. I need you to take it out. Lord, forgive them because they know not what they do. It's a constant thing. It's not just a one-time thing. You may feel that thing suffer because the enemy will come and sit on your shoulder and remind you, remember when? Remember when? Oh, they asked you for forgiveness. Do you really think they forgave you? You think the enemy gonna let up? You think the enemy gonna let up? Oh, how you know they ain't whispering? How you know? It doesn't matter. You did your part. You did your part. You want to know when you lay your head on the pillow, if you take your last breath, that God, you stand before him and he say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Forget what anybody think. Forget about them. Don't hold on to that unforgiveness. It's a lot of things. It don't just because you lost a child. It's so many things. Somebody could have said harmful words to you. It's so many things that we don't been hurt by other people. We don't hurt people, because that's what it do. Hurt people hurt other people. But the word of God say offense gonna come, but woe through who the offense come. Yes, we gonna offend. We're gonna do these things. But you want to make sure that you in good standards, that your heart is right. You get what I'm saying? And don't let nobody, no. Take this person, Rick, off of here, whoever this person is. Not forgiving people can cause it can cause illness and sicknesses in your body. Hi, Rolanda. Hi, Rakita. I'm looking at the comments, y'all. You cannot hold that inside of you, because it's gonna suffer. You know, it's gonna rise, and then you're gonna be high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, depression, oppression, because you holding all this stuff in you of what somebody did to you. You got to go. A lot of us, even like with me, Queen Fee, it just amazed me, like what God is really doing in her. Something that even as a woman, because that thing suffer with you, whatever you suffer with, that thing grows with you. It don't stay a baby. It grows with you. It grows into your adulthood. It grows with you. So at the end of the day, you got to get to the root of the matter. You got to say, Lord, dig down, because you may be dealing with one thing, but you may have dealt with something over here. And just that one little thing sitting up here. But what about all that other stuff that's dug deep down? You got to ask God to go deep and circumcise and get that stuff out of you. You've been holding on. Some of y'all just been holding on to stuff for so long. You just got to put it at the feet of God. And so this person, whoever it is, whoever did anything to you, like I said, some people you can't go to, but you can give it to God. You ain't got to keep carrying it. You don't have to keep holding on to it. What? No, just put them down. You don't have to keep holding. You have to let it out. Even in your own time, let it out. You don't have to, you just go to God in prayer. You could go in secret. Some things you do openly. Like what happened on that panel, that had to be done. Because it happened it happened in the airwaves, and it had to be openly rebuked in the airwaves. So whatever you do in secret is going to be exposed. So it's called an outward demonstration. See, people that don't really know what was going on last night, something miraculous, a miracle happened. The anointing destroys the yoke. Whether anybody, and now then the enemy come back and want to poke the bear. No, take it back. And that's what the enemy do. He come back and want to poke the bear. But now, when the enemy is working, can you see the enemy working? You got to know that who's behind this. If we say God did something so miraculous last night on that panel, do we feed into the negativity? Do we go back giving them that just like we saying, Lord, you ain't did nothing. So basically everything that was done was did in vain. We just was there because they want to make a mockery and make it seem like it wasn't real. Oh, that was fake. Oh, they did that the last time. So what? That was the last time. That was the last time. So what? If we do it 50 more times. Some people didn't get it. But maybe somebody may need round 2 or round 3 to really get it. It doesn't matter how many times. The Israelites, how many times they was in the wilderness? Their journey was only 3 days. So if you choose to be in your wilderness moments for 40 days and 40 nights, guess what? That's your wilderness. But don't get mad at the next person because they choose to come out of their wilderness. Don't get mad at the next person because they choose to forgive. Don't get mad at the next person because they want to apologize. Don't forgive to the next person because they say, forgive me, I did these things to you. Why you mad? Why you mad? You don't have to live with it. That's their choice. That's their choice. Whether you like it or not, it's their choice. Instead of you saying God is good. Come on. How could you find negativity out of what happened? That means you're not in a place. You wasn't flowing in the spirit. You were still in your flesh. And a lot of people was mad about what happened. And it doesn't matter. Because God got the glory out of it. I was on that panel to one something this morning because I see God working. Whether anybody agree with it or not, I see God doing something. I see women just pouring their hearts out. Innocent relationships based on a lie. The devil, the liar, the father of all lies, don't care and didn't care. Because in the midst of it, so many people got hurt based off of a lie. And it spread it like a wildfire. A lie. I even myself experienced some things here with my family. Go. Get my lotion and put it up. I don't care. Pick it up. Pick it up. Get the fuck out of here. Grab the fuck now. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know these kids get the turning up. But like I said, at the end of the day, the enemy want to come and steal what God done. But it doesn't matter that if they wasn't there, it doesn't matter if they was there. And just to see women, the vulnerability of people, they pain and they hurt and trauma from their child life, and because of one lie, the lie of the devil, who's the father of all lies. One lie, all it took was one lie. And like they said, 7 apples, but 1 apple can spoil the whole bunch. So if you somebody that can find it in your heart, and it is, in some of us, it's gonna take time. That's just like the people that's involved with my son. The forgiveness not for them, it's for me. But guess what? I see God still working on my behalf. Even though I haven't had a court date, I haven't, not one court date, not one conviction. But guess what? I see God working on my behalf. I see God still working, because guess what? I had to find it in my heart to forgive. And God say, you forgive, daughter, and you sit back and you let me watch you. I know it don't look good and I know it don't feel good, because the people that's involved with that, I know you may feel like that the justice, but God said revenge is mine. But I watch God revenge my life. See, we think revenge means get back, get back. Oh, this gonna happen. Baby, revenge can be God's blessings on your life. Revenge don't always have to be something bad, y'all. But you got to get that heart right. And you got to answer to God. And when you have your heart and your mind lined up with God, He's going to be a blessing for you. Because He say obedience is better than sacrifice. You follow God's voice. You don't worry about what the next person got to say. You go down to your childhood life and all your traumas and anything. And some of you, it may be hard for you to feel like, I can't forgive this person. I'm not there yet. You take your time. And you keep putting it at God. Lord, it hurts because we keep giving it to Him. We'll take it back. We'll give it. We'll take it back. But I promise you, no matter what you're going through, your traumas and whatever you experience, because my traumas may not be your traumas. I probably didn't experience what you experienced as a child. But when you take your traumas to God, and sometimes it be hard, because when you don't let go, the letting go or the forgiveness, you feel like you giving a person a pass that did you wrong. Forgiveness is not giving them a pass. You know what Jesus said on the cross? He said, Lord, forbid this cup to pass. Basically, He was saying, I want to carry this. Lord, if you just forbid this cup to pass, I could just come down off the cross. But then He changed His mind, because the love that He had for me and you, and that He had to set the example to let us know in that moment, it wasn't easy for Him to carry the burdens of the world. It wasn't easy. So in that moment, He showed His vulnerability that, oh, I want this cup to pass. I don't want to take on your issues and your problem, but because I love my Father and I want to do the right thing, guess what? Lord, forbid this cup to pass. But you know what, Lord? Never the will. Let thy will be done. And it's the same thing. Lord, my trauma, my child hurt. This happened to me. They did this to me. They said that to me. Oh, Lord, I just can't. Oh, Lord, let it. But you know what, Lord? I'm giving it to you. Do it feel good? No, it don't. But it's a process. Just continue to keep giving, taking all your problems, put all your cares to God. But always find it in your heart to know that when you get it in your mind and your heart, that the forgiveness is not for the person that did you wrong. It's for you. It's for you to become a better you, to be a better person. That's who the forgiveness is for, to help you, to get you through life, to get you through where you needed to be, so it can unlock some blessings for you. When you got to be able to walk away from something, but yet God is still blessing your life. The people that did you wrong and thought they set traps for you, but they still got to see the blessings on your life. And they trying to figure out they still blessed. I said this about them. I'm steady coming from it, and they ain't responding. No, I'm not. Because I don't got time for you, because I gave you to God. I gave you to God in prayer. And when you find people trying to poke the bear, that lets you know the devil is working. The devil is working for these people. They letting the devil use them. Nitpicking and saying harmful things. It was music made by my kid and my little nephew, but guess what? I got through it. I survived it. It's been 19 years. I survived it. Have I had hiccups? Have I spazzed out? Of course I have. Have I dumbed out, came to social media, went off and said this, that, the third? Was I angry? Yes, I've done it all. I've done it all. But I still, in my moments, but I still had to tell myself, Gigi, you can't stay in that place. You there, but you can't stay there. Did I want to feel like I had to forgive them? No, because I thought it was the worst thing. Why I gotta forgive? Why I got to do this? Why this can't happen to them? But I had to really find it in my heart to know, Gigi, you only hurting yourself. You only hurting yourself. You only hurting your children. You're hurting your lineage. You're hurting your grandkids. The forgiveness is not for the people that did you wrong. The forgiveness is not for the people that took your son. Your son can also, much as you love him, he could still be a blessing to you. And that's why I'm here today. When I see what people saying, the things that they say when they saying, yeah, you look, if you've been following me, when I kept saying I don't see none of it, and that's how I feel. I was ready. By my son, it was nothing. I didn't care. I ain't see none of it. I used to go on Facebook and spaz out and call them all out, line it up. I didn't care. But I'm like, it's not worth it. And like I say, all I seen myself just not being myself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see myself being myself. And I had to say, Gigi, you already lost your son. But what is all this gonna do? But that was just, my anger, because I was angry. But I prayed and I asked God to help me. And I had to always, okay, Lord, search my heart. I feel this in my heart. Get it out. Get this ugliness out of me. And once you get in a place of finding yourself that you can forgive, it becomes like a habit. It becomes a habit. It becomes easy. So even if you put in a situation or God put it on your heart to say, go get this right, it's okay. You okay with getting it right. But God will let you know, you will know what you can get right. You will know who you can go to and who you can't go to. You can't go to everybody because everybody's heart is not right. Everybody don't have the heart to want to forgive. You just got some people that just want to be evil. You just got some people that just nasty because that's just their nasty hearts. Because they haven't forgave, and so they want to harbor they hurt, and they want to harbor. They want to be mad at everybody. They want to blame everybody. They want to take everything out on everybody that haven't done them wrong. So then you go to mistreating the wrong people because now you got these walls up and you find it in yourself, I don't want to forgive. No. But last night was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment. And the devil trying to steal that, a beautiful moment. And that's why I want to get on here and let any persons know. It's a process. And it takes time. And I'm not gonna say it happened overnight, because it doesn't happen overnight. It may be my son's birthday and all that coming up. I may feel some type of way. You get what I'm saying? I may feel that thing like, Gigi, you feeling like this, and here it is, 19 years of your son. But immediately, when I feel that thing, I got to say, Lord, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I feel that hatred rising in my heart. I need you to heal my heart. I need you to take that out. Lord, I forgive him, but I really don't want to forgive him. You know what I'm saying? But the forgiveness is for you, and it's a choice. It's either you forgive or you don't. And having that there, and some people do some meaningful stuff. But I want every person that was on that panel, don't allow nobody to make you feel bad about you being in a place of forgiving. Because if it was sincere and you meant that, you meant what you said. And that's it, and that's all. And can't nobody take that from you. But I just want to give my little piece, and I just want to jump on here because I know other content creators, they're going live. And I just want to, bring my story and my authentic self and come here with, just being a help of uplifting encouraging. That's what I want to do. Cause sometimes you got to lift a brother or sister up. I might be weak today, but somebody can pull me up tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. It all depends on where you at, and we all not on the same page. We all not on the same level, and we all can still grace, and we still grace each other, and we got to give each other our time and our moments, and we're not thank you, Alexis. And I'm not saying telling nobody you got to do what I did, but I'm just telling you it all comes with growth, and all of us been hurt in different ways, not the same. And some of us, it takes time. And it takes time. But guess what? I promise you, you would get there. The more you practice at it, you would get there. Like that little situation with me and Auntie, that was a 2 year. That was a 2 year. But guess what? That person, mind and their heart was in the right place. My mind and my, but in that moment, when I seen that person, I was still like trying to, in my mind, I was warned. My mind and my heart was warned to say, that person ain't changed. But then in my other thoughts, in my mind and my heart saying, you know what? That person, you can find some good in that. The person looked like they changing. So I was wrestling with that. When me and Auntie did what we did, I was wrestling with that. I'm being honest with y'all. I wrestled with that because I wanted to tell my story. But in one breath, I was wrestling to say something. But then the next breath, I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? But I thank God that I really knew within myself, because I knew what was the right thing to do. And when you know the right thing to do, you do it. Give it to her. You know the right thing to do, no matter how nobody think about it and nobody how they feel. And no, I wrestled with that. I sat back for weeks and 2 weeks watching her on panels, and I'm like, this person up on these panels and she on people panel, and I'm just hearing her talk, and I'm like, why she talking? Why she saying all these things? She tell, even when I'm like, why she ain't telling everything? Why she not mentioning me? Why she not really telling what happened between me and her? That's what I was saying to myself. Not for her to do it. You humble yourself. You humble yourself. This person don't went on and got it right, and they doing what they gotta do, and they telling their truth. If you want a clean slate with that, you make the first step. You make the first step and you do what you need to do. And that's when I reached out and I say, hey, oh, I don't know what happened, y'all. My whole screen went dark. But I got a few more minutes. I'm gonna hurry up and say this. And when I seen it, it was like, no, you step up. You be the bigger person. You humble yourself. And that's when I reached out. And guess what? It happened because guess what? I had to put her in the right place. And guess what? And God stepped in. And I felt so good. When I tell y'all, I felt so good in that moment. And me and Auntie ain't saying we don't be on the phone talking and all that. But guess what? And when I seen the comments in one of these groups I'm in, and I seen the comment, I can't believe they was all on there. It was all on there, and it's fake and it's phony. And I want to say something. Some say, Gigi, hold your peace. Don't you write now comment. And I'm like, it's fake. It's phony. And I'm like, I know I'm not a fake person. I know I'm a real person. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen those comments about, oh, they being fake. They did this the last time. But I'm like, my story was a real story. My story was a real story. What I endured, it was real. It was hurtful. You get what I'm saying? I went through some things as well. But me being on a panel nothing went fake about nothing with my life here on social media with what I went through. But I had stepped up to do the right thing. And for people to say, oh, it's fake, it's fun. What me and Auntie did, that wasn't fake. That wasn't fake, baby. That was real. Because I'm a real woman. I got a real child that's in the graveyard. That those things that were said, and even though we talked it out, these things and acts that were done against me, those was real things. But I had to be a real woman. I had to be a real person to say, Gigi, you got to find it in your heart. If you want to do it, no matter if even if I got rejected, even though I didn't even know that the other ladies was stepping out to reach out to this person. But even if the person didn't want to do it, but guess what? At least I know it got across the aisles that I wanted to be real. I wanted to tell my story, and I didn't do it because I wanted clout. I didn't do any of that because I wanted people to know I have a story here. And guess what? And what we did, we showed people that here it is, two women came to some common ground to say we're going to respect one another. You be honest, you be transparent. And that's what we agreed to. The transparency. Because guess what? I want my hands clean. And she wanted the same thing. And what her and I did, that was real. That happened for real. Those things happened for real. That wasn't play with me and Auntie. That was two real people going to war. And when we found out that it was a devil behind it all because of a misunderstanding, because you assumed something. But here you had hurt people that was hurting each other and was going for blood. It was tit for tat. And it was the devil. But I'm so glad that I was mature enough to humble myself. She was mature enough to humble herself. Because I'm sure for her to even get to that place and for that, reaching over the other aisles, guess what? She been getting her heart right. She been fixing on that. Because if when they reached across the aisle to say, hey, Gigi want to talk, she want to tell her story. She been working on getting her heart right, preparing her mind and her heart, and probably saying, I want to talk to her, but maybe I don't know how to approach her. You get what I'm saying? Maybe if I reach over the aisles, maybe she won't accept it. Because in my mind and my heart, I said I would never forgive her. I would never accept her apology. I would never say nothing to her because of the things that were said. And it was like she'll be my enemy for life. Because that's how I felt. That's how I felt in that moment. But when I see everything playing out, I say, you know what, Gigi, if you want to move in a positive direction, if you want to see more great things happening for you, you got to do the right thing. And the right thing was I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to tell my story, but I wanted to be truthful in my story. I didn't want to have to dance around anything with my story, and walk on eggshells. But I'm glad that her heart was right and she was willing to say, we can do this. And guess what? We got through it. We got through it. And guess what? And it's the best feeling in the world. And I just want to tell people who's watching these stories and watching these content creators and stuff like that, this is real life. That saga stuff is over with. Real people was being hurt behind this. Real people was being drugged behind this. People, deceased children and mothers and fathers and cousins and family members was drugged in this. That was very demonic. But you got strong people that's willing to step up to say, I'm going to do the right thing. Enough is enough. I'm not going to be a part of this evil. I'm not going to be a part of this. That was real. Real people went through real things. That was real. You see real pain playing out. And now you see real people being free.
Thank you.
Because people allowing people to say, I'm going to forgive you. And chains breaking and popping. I'm not going to hold this person hostage. No, we didn't do that. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I could come here to tell my story, to let other people know that we are real people here. Being transparent with our life. And whether it doesn't matter whether anybody believe it, if it's fake, so what? If that's how they feel, that's just how they feel. We don't have nothing to prove to anyone. Stop, leave her alone. I don't care, just leave her alone. No, sit down. Long as your slate clean, that's all that matters. And I'm good. And I'm very appreciative and I'm very grateful and thankful for the women that came and orchestrated it, how these women using their panels and allowing people to come to be able to, some people is still in their process of healing. They're still in their process of healing. And we all not there yet. but we could still be a part of the solution. But you still got ignorant people that's still doing hurtful, ignorant things because they want a dollar. Anything for a mighty dollar. I drag a person. I talk about their children. I'm going to talk about this. Just steady poking the bear, poking the bear. Just ignorant people. Those the type of people what I'm talking about. Them type of people. I don't see that. You shouldn't see that. Hey, everybody. I saw that as well. All I could do was shake my head, and it was definitely a real moment between you and Auntie. Thank you, Chit Chat. Yeah, it was a real moment. You know what I'm saying? And I wore it with that Chit Chat. If you still on here, that didn't just come in. That wasn't easy. I had been watching for 2 weeks. And it was like every time I kept looking and watching, and I'm being honest and transparent, and I'm glad that her and I we got through it. But I was cringing every time I seen her go live, and when I seen her get on different people panel, I was literally cringing. I was cringing within, and I'm like, you know what? I seen a person that looked like, I'm like, well, she looked like she in a good space, but yet I'm cringing every time I hear her. Sit down and stop. She's trying to hit me. Hold on, y'all. Now. And I was literally cringing on the inside, and I'm just being honest, and I'm like, come on, Gigi, you want to tell your story, you just got to step up and tell your story. And I'm glad that I was able to step up, and I'm glad that you know who you are, and the ladies, you all know who you are. You all made it possible, and y'all made it happen on the backside. People think that these people, people be being messy. Everybody not messy. Everybody not messy. Stop thinking people messy. Because when I reached out to someone and I told them I want to tell my story, and I say I want to tell my story, but I don't want to make it seem like that I'm jugging at this person, because I really genuinely want to tell my story without it seeming that I'm jugging at this person. And I didn't want her to feel like, oh, there she go, I'm nitpicking with her, because it was bad. Come on, stop. Because it was bad blood there, and I knew the bad blood was there, but I didn't want her to feel that I was nitpicking at her. But at the same time, I wanted to free myself. I wanted to get it out. I wanted the world to hear my story too, because nobody didn't know my story. Nobody really, some people knew, but a lot of people didn't. But at the end of the day, I didn't want Auntie to feel like I'm picking with her, or I'm jugging at her, even though me and her weren't seeing eye to eye. But there were genuine women that people trying to make it seem like, oh, they messy, they do that. Everybody not messy. Everybody not messy. And it was real women here took accountability and stepped in and mediated between two people that had bad blood. It's a different when you messy, but they wasn't messy. They didn't get over there and was being messy. They went behind the scene. I didn't even know they was behind the scene, even making it happen. I got a phone call and say, hey, you willing to do it? I could have even got upset and said, well, why they went behind my back and did it? But it was something that I really wanted. I wanted that done. I wanted to free my conscience. I wanted to free my conscience, because I knew, I'm like, God, you got something so much for me. But in order for me to do it, I need my conscience free, And like I said, I thank God for the ladies who made it happen. And y'all made it happen, and y'all did that. And now here it is, two queens. We, guess what? We position our crowns. We fixed each other crown. And now we're free. And we could go on and we could put all that behind us. But you can't do that with everybody, because everybody don't want to be free. They don't want to be free. You got people that don't want to be free. They just want to be messy. And me and Auntie ain't around here saying, girl, call me. That's not what we've done. There are women that you can reach out to behind the scenes, and they will make it happen for you. And they're not being messy. It doesn't matter, because you may be a person that, but there are women that can make this thing happen and genuinely make it happen. But if you feel like you and a person And if a person feel like they don't want to come to common grounds with you, that's fine. I'm mute. You're mute. How I get muted? Somebody, I'm muted. Oh, I know why. How do I unmute? My daughter, okay. My daughter just tried to call me. But it's 8 o'clock, y'all. And like I said, I appreciate you all getting on here. But it's some beautiful queens out there. My daughter had called, and that's what happened. But like I said, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to where I'm at now. I'm free. Ain't no chains holding me. Ain't no shackles holding me. And I'm free and I feel so good. I'm not held to that bondage. I ain't got to worry about the devil sitting on my shoulder using it against me. Remember this. Remember that. I am free. Auntie free. And we, guess what? We position each other crown. We did it. And ain't nobody mad but the devil. And that's what happened on that panel. I'm going to say this and I'm going to go. That's what happened last night. You had women and men, everybody fixing everybody crown. And everybody got a breakthrough and God vindicated us all. People was vindicated. People was vindicated. And ain't nobody mad but the devil. So guess what? Every process, I'm going to leave y'all with this. We all have a process. Forgiveness and unforgiveness is a choice. But God will get you there. You may not be there today. You may not be there tomorrow. But guess what? You will get there. I promise you, you'll get there. I love everybody. Thank y'all. Hey, Retta. Hey, Tabby. Special K. Everybody, thank y'all. Thank y'all for Joanne. Y'all, thank you so much for coming over here, showing me some love. I appreciate you, ladies. I love you, ladies, and I just love what you're doing, Retta. Everybody, all you ladies. I know I've been behind the scene, and I know y'all ain't really just seeing more of me, but I'm loving what I'm seeing. When I tell you my heart is warm behind everything, every time when I think about last night, it brings joy to my heart. I be about to cry every time I think about it. That's why I know it was real. You ladies continue to keep doing what you're doing. I love you all. You all be blessed. I don't know who's finna go live, but I know somebody going live, but I'm finna get off. And I thank you all for giving me my little time and squeezing me in and let me just wiggle my little self off. And I will see you all on the other side of the YouTube street. Love you all and thank you, thank you, thank you. And you all continue to be blessed. Y'all have a blessed night. Y'all say hey to my grandkids. Say hey, mama.
Hey. Hi.
These my grandbabies. This is a few of them. Say hey.
Hey.
They're my grand girl. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'm out of here. Be blessed. Love y'all.